TruePundit.com, Clinton Foundation CFO, quote, "I know where all the bodies are buried." That's an interesting statement because we keep hearing General Flynn also knows where the bodies are buried, so to speak. The two key financial investigators who testified in Congress detailing billions of dollars and decades of illicit activities by the Clinton Foundation dropped a Twitter bomb on Friday morning. Larry Doyle, who testified alongside former DOJ boss and partner John Moynihan, said the CFO of the Clinton Foundation admitted to the duo during a November 30th, 2016 meeting, quote, "I know where all the bodies are buried," end quote. Although it does not mention the executive by name, the tweet was referring to Andrew Kessel, who has served as Clinton's CFO since 2004. There is, quote, "There is strength in numbers," Doyle said in a follow-up tweet. "This country is worth fighting for. Let's keep punching." Doyle included a video clip with his alarming tweet, detailing the meeting with Kessel and illicit financial practices of Clinton Foundation, including using charity funds as a personal piggy bank. You have to wonder what Kessel told these investigators about Bill Gates, because I think his name was mentioned as well, by the way. In the clip, it says it's below, the story is developing. So, the clip is about 5 minutes and 42 seconds long. Not going to necessarily play it for you. We could watch it together, but maybe we should. You want to hear it? Let's do it. Go ahead. Let's do it. Let's do it. Volume up. Here we go, people.
Saying potentially you're going to bring a civil lawsuit against the Clinton Foundation and that this public hearing might affect that.
No, we didn't say that. What we're saying is that the IRS, the IRS submission stands on its own merit. The IRS will make their determinations based upon what they find. If the IRS finds one way, we'll have one reaction. If they find another way, we'll have another reaction with counsel.
Mr. Monahan, do you believe that based on any interviews that you've
You gonna play or?
Based on any interviews that you've activity that might have happened within the Clinton Foundation?
We believe there is indicia of that, yes.
All right, and you base that based on what?
The interviews.
With whom?
We interviewed Mr. Andy Kessel. Larry, can you speak to that directly? We were together.
We interviewed Mr. Kessel on November 30th, 2016. I had reached out to him in early to mid-October. Andy was a former acquaintance of mine on Wall Street. Andy called me back on November 9th at 9:45 in the morning, about three and a half weeks after I had reached out to him. We exchanged pleasantries. I had informed Mr. Kessel about my relationship with Mr. Moynihan so that he was fully aware of who John was. We got together, and he was very forthcoming. We stand by every word that we provided.
So what does forthcoming mean? I mean, what alleged criminal activity do you believe that the Clinton Foundation may have been a part of?
His statements to us were very clear and very genuine. He told us that Mr. Clinton, on a regular basis, mixed and matched his personal business on an ongoing basis with that of the foundation.
All right, so your conversations with Mr. Kessel indicated that there was commingling of funds between the president and the foundation. Is that correct?
Yeah, expenditure of donated funds between his personal.
So he would use donated funds to the foundation for personal use. Private annulment is what they would call that.
That was stated to us, yes.
And so were there any other criminal allegations?
Well, he just stated to us very specifically, and it kind of took us both off guard, to be quite frank. I've been doing this business for a long time. When someone says to me, quote, "I know where all the bodies are buried," it was shocking.
But that's hyperbole. So go ahead. Tell me what is the other potential criminal activity that may have happened?
Well, his statements to us about that, we have submitted with the IRS. It's up to them to make a determination on that.
what are the alleged other criminal activity that was communicated to you, Mr. Moynihan, from Mr. Kessel?
What he communicated to us was the commingling of funds. That's the most specific of illegal activities
All right.
on a regular and ongoing basis.
Did you have another interview with Miss Fischel,
Miss who?
Barbara Fischel?
Barbara Fischel?
Yeah. Is there
No.
anybody else that you interviewed other than that?
We did.
Who was that?
We're not at liberty to give that name.
Sir, your sworn testimony, let me just tell you, that dog doesn't hunt here. So if you've interviewed someone else as a witness, you're required to answer that or plead the fifth. What do you want to do?
We made a confidentiality agreement with her at the time, so we'll plead the fifth. But we're happy to speak about the interview. We just can't give her name up.
So what you're saying is you have a confidentiality agreement with someone you interviewed.
Yeah.
And what was that person's position?
A very senior position within the Clinton Healthcare Access Program.
All right. So within what is, I guess, referred to as CHI, is that the largest part of the Clinton
Correct.
Foundation?
Yes.
And how many dollars of assets would be in the CHI part of the foundation?
We've got it right here.
Well, just give us a minute. We'll look in the.
Approximately 900 million by the analysis that we had done.
Okay. And what were the allegations that she alerted you to?
She stated very specifically that the funds were used as essentially a piggy bank. You could travel and vacation when you wanted to, that the senior administrators within this fund, operating this fund, treated this and commingled this as personal business, foundation business, for travel and personal expense.
So what you're saying is that they could use the Clinton Foundation charitable donations for private travel and go on personal trips. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we see that as conversion of foundation property.
What else?
We can, if you roll the sheet down.
Oh.
Go ahead.
She also referenced Mr. Clinton's relationship with one of his largest donor, that being Bill Gates, at which point in time she said that they were not on speaking terms, and referenced the fact that at this point in time, during 2009, that the health initiative had not received prior formal approval by the IRS for their activities.
In fact,
Well, that's kind of interesting to come out right now,
And that this public hearing.
So there's that. Take care.